Hello, party people. You see that green light on the floor over there? That shouldn't be there, and it's kind of bothering me that it's there now. But anyway, I've come to a realization. Um, I noticed that, maybe not intentionally, but I've sort of been neglecting myself, like taking care of myself, not physically, but obviously emotionally and mentally, borderline spiritually. I just noticed that with this whole virus, with me still testing positive, um, I haven't really stopped like to do anything or something for myself, and it just seemed like every dollar I made from the very successful period of online gambling since I can't go to work lately for a long time. As way back when I got tested positive like a month ago, it feels like this probably is around a month ago. So like I started small. I got $10 gift card from GameStop for PlayStation just because I know I'm gonna roll for Yelan, and that might burden the cost of it. Um, Absorb the burden of it. But in the recent past, when I wasn't doing that, I was trying to be nice to the other people in this household, and I just felt like it wasn't reciprocated. Um, like, I get it that we aren't exactly the type of family that is the most affectionate. We're not exactly the type that is polite with each other, and that's unfortunate. But like I'm guilty of this too. So don't get me wrong. But we are in a red room, so that does mean there might be a little bit of flaming, might be a little bit throwing some shade. We don't say thanks, please, sorry. We don't say that shit. Um, and it's not even just saying it; it's like showing it. Now, I'm not saying monetarily I've been gracious, even though I have been. But the point is, I could have used that money for something else. And we're not talking like $20 here and there. I totaled up some receipts, and had I saved up every dollar supposedly that I made from online gambling, and I didn't buy anything according to those receipts, I would be around like close to $1,000 total. So when I started this month, I had like 400. So that means in the time span of back then and there to now, I could have potentially made $600. Now, I just don't see how that, again, how that can be neglected. And I mean, like, as dumb as it sounds, I thought that's the way Asian people showed affection for each other, by giving them money, by taking care of them. And okay, so I'm not gonna point out anyone specifically, but there's people in his household who wear masks around me because I'm apparently the only one who knows how to go through the drive-through testing and get tested. I mean, you just gotta know how to drive. I mean, insurance pays for it. Like, doesn't cost any money. It's free. Even without insurance, and it's just like all you need is a MyChart account. Now, it just feels like I was getting the short end of the stick because I know for a fact there's at least 2 people in this household. When they do go out in public, they're not wearing masks around their friends. And it became a thing where 2 members of this household were arguing who caught the virus first. I was not a part of this argument. I did not show symptoms till well after certain people were quote unquote cured of the virus. And the reason I know that is because I look at pictures, and recent pictures. I see people at dining tables. I see people walking around in public. Photographic evidence of this. And they're not wearing masks. Now, I don't understand how you won't wear masks out there, but you will wear a mask around me. Like, the virus is so debilitating towards me. I'm like crippled. I can't do anything. It doesn't feel right, and it doesn't sit well with me. It's borderline insulting, since I haven't hung out with any friends since I tested positive. When I do go out for errands and whatnot, usually to the grocery store, using funds of my own for this household, and I wear a mask. I try to social distance. But the point is, just because you're taking a picture doesn't mean you can't wear a mask. And if you're sitting next to each other, like, and if this has been going on for a long time, what the fuck do you think was gonna happen? Like, how do people not realize this, that when one person gets the virus in a household, it's very easy to spread, especially Omicron, to other people in the household? And you would think this would be more of a concern. And as worried as I can be, I should be the least worried, because someone in this household has a suppressed immune system due to certain medication for their quote-unquote condition. 2 of the other members of this household are pushing 70, maybe a little bit over now that I think about it. So, okay, let's hypothetically say it is 100% not fatal. Now, who the fuck likes being sick? Who the fuck likes having flu-like symptoms and asthma? So, if you can avoid that, wouldn't it make sense to avoid it? I don't... If this was Delta, do people realize that, like, I probably would have been the only one able to survive it? Assuming I would? So, now that it's Omicron, we just throw caution to the wind. We don't care about shit like that anymore. But when you come into my room, you have to wear a mask? What are you afraid of catching that you gave me? So, like, I'm really not just trying to play the blame game. For all I know, I had it in my system for months, and I just didn't show symptoms. I don't know, hypothetically. It's just... I mean, not only is it insulting, it seems like your priorities are not prioritized properly. And if you're more concerned with hanging out with your friends and not practicing normal stuff that we've learned since the beginning of all this, I don't care if you see so-and-so not wearing a mask. The point is, you have a choice. And when you ignore that choice, or some might call responsibility, you're endangering everyone else in the household. So it's just like, I haven't been... Okay, let's figure this out. Let's figure this out for a second. I haven't been on a date. I haven't been, like, at a sit-down restaurant since I tested positive. I've worn my mask even before I tested positive, even when Omicron started. And you can look around and see who's not wearing masks easily. But I wear my mask. I try to wear gloves, at least the one's not too damn sweaty and hot outside. And it's just like, why am I practicing these good practices if you're afraid of catching something from me? I think I'm the least of your worries. I mean, if your friends have similar conditions or around the same age as you, with similar conditions, wouldn't you wear a mask? Like, I know this sounds ridiculous, but why can't you just ask them to show you the vaccination cards? I mean, I don't need to do that because I know how to stay out of the public. And like, I have everything I need in this room. It's a borderline bomb shelter. I'm serious. I got a steady supply of canned food in the corner over there. I've got access to electricity here. I've got the internet here. I mean, if there was a bathroom in there, I would never have to leave the room. But I digress. A show of appreciation would be nice. And because I'm not getting that, that makes me less hopeful and less motivated to practice good practices. And okay, so the main thing that initiated this was this. So I had a home test Sunday night, or actually Sunday morning, a day before I thought I was going back to work. It tested negative. I know I did the test right because I'm the only one who apparently knows how to do at-home tests, who knows how to read instructions and do it. And it's just like, you can either use a computer or a dictionary and like, or read the instructions that are in a different language that you might understand if you just read it, and yet somehow I'm the only one able to do at-home tests. Okay, so when I did my at-home test, this was like my more than 5th time of doing it, even for other members of this household. So I know I did the test right, and guess what? It tested negative. So I did what someone logical would do. I went through the drive-through testing just to corroborate the results. At the drive-through testing, I tested positive. Now think about this for a second. Yes, if I returned to work, I would be wearing a mask and, doing all the things I'm supposed to do. What if I went up in that bitch, testing positive, and someone else got sick, arguably because of me? Some of the older folks that work there. So, doing the drive-through testing was a good idea, wasn't it? But there's certain people in this household who think at-home tests are more accurate than tests given at a hospital or a medical facility, for example, where everyone has, PPE on, protective, equipment. They're wearing the shield. They're using gloves. They're in scrubs, and I just don't understand how you wouldn't take the side of the argument that getting a drive-through test is more accurate than testing at home. Yes, it's great to have those at-home tests, but why don't we save them for when we really need them? Such as returning to work, which I now can do. And what am I supposed to think? Because I wasn't wearing a mask around other people in this household, in the same household, that I caught it from someone who wasn't wearing a mask? I don't see people in this household with their masks on all the time. That's all I'm saying. But when it comes to coming around me, the only person who seems to know how to do a testing or go to a place to do a drive-through testing, like, I'm the infected? You think I'm the infected? It's just I don't know what word to describe it. I know to a certain degree this is Asian immigrant bullshit, or like I shouldn't say bullshit. I should say like superstitions. Um, I get that. You're free to believe whatever you want to believe, of course. Now the clock says 1, 2, 3, 4 on it. Anyway, just I don't get it. I don't get it. And like now this thing in my throat, like the phlegm, it's not a sore throat. I'm not coughing that much. It is still in my system. For all I know, this could be semi-permanent, if not permanent. Now it's just like I know someone who got the virus, and their sinus congestion didn't go away until 2 months later. 2 months with that inconvenience, that physical inconvenience. But yeah, it's better than being dead, right? I just, it boggles my mind how you would trust an at-home test more than you would a test done by trained professionals, doctors, nurses. You wouldn't trust those tests, but you trust the at-home tests. Maybe because you're afraid of what it might say. And then you wouldn't be able to leave this house just like me. And am I way off base here? Someone tell me I'm overreacting about this, and that I'm overreacting, that I'm making a big deal out of nothing, because you don't understand how it feels when someone who is in the same immediate family as you wears a mask around you. Like you're acting like I'm hanging out with, like I'm going to parties, I'm going to bars. Like I'm not going to these places. And if you're having dinner with friends, if you're having lunch with them, if you're going to the gym, are you wearing masks the entire time during those times? But guess what? If I was, I would be wearing a mask those entire times. And if I do forget my mask, there's masks in the car. Because I don't want to be in a situation where I don't have a mask that I can wear. I've started to double mask. That was actually asked upon me when I did inform my workplace that I tested positive. And that wasn't even me informing them. I just said a member of my household tested positive. And because of the household, situations that exist in this country, it's like if one person in the household gets it, it's just a matter of time before the rest do. Now there are varying degrees of severity, of course. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. It's just it is so, I hate to use this word when talking about people in this household, but there's 4 people in this household, so I think you might be able to figure out the rest. I'm borderline speechless. I don't know what to say. I mean, that's great that you're wearing a mask around me to protect yourself, but nobody told me I had to wear a mask in the household. Nobody else is doing that. I mean, occasionally I see someone else doing it, but there's mainly one member of this family who is wearing a mask who shouldn't, since they were one of the first infected, and they refused to take a test through Milford drive-through walk-in clinic. Drive-through testing that takes like 5 minutes to get there and like 5 minutes to do the test. You don't have 10 minutes out of your life to see if you're either negative or positive, but you want to believe that at-home test because the at-home test has the answer you're agreeable with. This is beyond childish. This is beyond immature. This is beyond, for lack of a better term, just dumb. And I came to that realization today, and I was just like, I'm just getting, this environment has become so toxic for me. Maybe not for anyone else, but it's just like, it's not fun being here. It's all you have to do is go through the drive-through testing. You don't even have to get out of your car. They stick a swab up your nose, and like, that's it. Then you just check the website online that I made accounts for the people in this household to check, and it'll tell you the test results when they're ready, 24 to 48 hours later. There were certain times where I got my test back in 1 day, less than 1 day. Because all you really need to do is find out if you test negative. If you've had the Omicron before, and now you test negative, I get it. It's safe to say you're fine. Then why the fuck are you still wearing a mask around me? In this household. I can understand if this was outside, in public, and we were just, shopping or something, or, just walking around, just hanging out, or, at the grocery store. Like, I get that. If you wanted to wear a mask there and wanted me to wear a mask there. But how are you going to wear a mask around me when you know I'm not wearing a mask? And you should know that masks are only effective when all the parties wear the masks. So apparently you're not that afraid of getting infected by me, because you would ask me to wear a mask, which I would have no problem with. My problem with it is that are all the members of the household going to do that? And guess what? It's not going to happen. I know for a fact it's not going to happen. I didn't ask them. I just know the people in this household better than they think. And if me and this other person, the other half of this household, if we wore masks all around this household, the other two wouldn't. Because, they've more or less gotten over whatever they had. There might be some lingering symptoms in some of us, but a couple of us, but it's not as miserable as it was before. And as a responsibility towards humanity, don't you think you wouldn't want to get anyone else sick? The misinformation and I just don't get it. I took one of the members of the household to the hospital when they started developing really bad symptoms in the middle of the night at 3 a.m., mind you. Coincidence? So I went there, and they wouldn't even let me in the room because I mentioned to them that I was still testing negative. So, because they found out I was testing negative, and they found out the family member that I brought to the emergency room at 3 a.m. was testing positive. So, could I have gotten it being in the same car as them? Maybe. Was I wearing a mask? Yes. Were they wearing a mask? Yes. But now they're over that. They're over it. They seem perfectly healthy again. So why the fuck are you wearing a mask around me? I'm not trying to take it personally or as an insult, even though it is. But the logic is just not there. So it's okay to be comfortable around your friends, whether they have suppressed immune systems or not. If their immune systems are compromised, it's okay to be around them and not wear a mask. But when the person who's basically been the glue that holds this dysfunctional family together is the person most dangerous in terms of being infected by some virus that we've all gotten over already? Correct me if I'm wrong, can you get it twice? Can you get this multiple times? I thought to a certain extent you would develop immunity. That's what the vaccines were for. And I told these people, I said to them, I don't qualify for the second booster shot, but because certain ages and certain conditions require a second booster shot. I don't know if these fucking people even scheduled it, because I sort of did that on purpose just because I wanted to see if they would actually do it, whether they actually had the initiative to find out where a second booster shot was offered. Why the fuck should I be scheduling someone else's second booster shot when I don't even qualify for it? You know, like, I had a completely different idea for this video, but like, then I changed it to Red Room. And we all know what happens in Red Room. How's it going, guys? You guys doing good? Doing good? That's good to know. How's so-and-so doing? Yeah, they're doing good? How's the household? How the kids? They doing good? Oh, yeah. These are conversations I would be having with other real people if I went outside in public and actually did stuff. But I don't, because I acknowledge my responsibility towards the safety of everyone else in this household through everything I've done. This is going to be some massive throwing of shade, but like, I'm the good son. So what does that say about the other son? What does that say about the parents? If I'm the good son and I'm making this video after midnight because everything I've stated they don't want to listen to, and they just want to wear their mask around me, like, it's not even just a mask, it's the disrespect. It's about the disrespect. And like I said, I'm not looking for a thank you. I'm not looking, I would sort of like some show of affection, of gratitude. But like, all the money I've been spending on food, I've been getting like gift certificate after gift certificate after gift certificate through the winnings of my gambling, which I do myself. And do you think it's easy to win money gambling? Do you think it's really that easy? Maybe you've never been in a casino before, but it's not that fucking easy. I don't know, like, as ridiculous as it sounds, I worked hard to get that fucking money. And like, this was my way of showing that, you know, we can still do stuff and like eat stuff that's outside as long as we bring it back here. Did that message go over certain people's heads? Like, do they even understand why I was doing all these gift certificates? And I don't think they understand this simple thing. Getting those gift certificates were supposed to make them happy. And because it doesn't seem to be working, even though I'm not going to follow this advice, but my thing is, why should I give a fuck then? If other people aren't going to give a fuck, then why do I need to remain the good son? Why am I not moving out of this house as requested by me? Because apparently there's certain people I need to take care of, but you can survive the virus, but you can't take care of yourself. Okay. I'm spent. I'm completely exhausted. Like, I am so drained that I just want to stare at the wall and be not worrying or not doing something right now, because I'm tired. I am so tired. And I hate how it's unspoken that I'm the good son. I hate how everyone kind of whispers about that. I never hear anything about it, but like, they don't think I hear anything about it, but these walls are kind of thin in this room. So, if I'm the good son, why am I the one getting shit on? I'm sure some of you guys out there, you have similar family dynamics that resemble my situation, my quagmire, my quicksand. I don't know. I just it's just so blatant. It's just so, like, for lack of a better term, it's just so rude. Like, who believes that an at-home test more than a test conducted by professionals? Granted, I've read the instructions and I can do that at-home test. Am I a fucking doctor? Do you think I'm a nurse? Do you think I'm a doctor? That's very flattering, and flattery will get you everywhere, but that's not the case. I have no medical training whatsoever. I bought this shirt today. It was $7. It was on sale at the mall, where I never took my mask off, where I never walked directly next to someone in front or in back of someone. I did everything I was supposed to do, quote unquote. I did what I had learned from people in the media that you're supposed to do. Fuck, like, when all the shit is over, I might just keep wearing my fucking mask, because, like, I don't want people to know what I look like. I know that sounds weird, but, like, this, I can safely say that right now, there's nobody in Milford that I care about besides my immediate family. I'll straight up say that. There's, whether they moved, whether they, whether they're out of the country, whether they're international, where they just up and left, and I never heard from them again. None of those people are around. There's no one else I care about in Milford. I mean, like, does that make me callous? Of course I care about the general persons, strangers. To be a good Samaritan, I get that I could, if they needed help, I could help them. If their life was in danger, as a bystander, would it be my responsibility to help them? That's a completely different conversation, but you get what I'm saying. I don't know. There was probably some other stuff I wanted to talk about, but it's just like, whatever. I just, you see, like, this is something that causes me distress. If I'm not wearing a mask, and when you come in this room you are, that mask is to protect you, not me. So basically, without telling me to wear a mask, which I would do if you wanted me to, that's basically saying you are more important than me. Your health is more important than mine. The only individual in this household that is physically fine. Physically, I have no problems. Physically. Now, can you say that about everyone else in the household? No, you cannot. So, what have we learned? Alright, guys, I'm gonna step off the soapbox and move some shit around. I don't know if you guys can see it. The futon's a lot closer, and move my writing just as far away as possible from here so I'm not distracted, as happens all the time. Just working on Could Have Been Crazier, and I don't know if I mentioned that, guys. I'm working on my third book, Could Have Been Crazier. The first book was called Could Have Been Crazy. My Stat Fiction was my second book, called Extrasensory. I'm just plugging myself right now. If you guys want to look these books up on Amazon, you can. I can even arrange it so you can get paper copies. I'm dead serious. And yeah, I think Could Have Been Craziest will probably be the last chapter of this trilogy. But that's definitely not gonna be written for a while, or even started. But the Could Have Been Crazier is it's progressing well. It's going a lot slower than I thought it would, but it's progressing well. I like what's in the book so far, because it touches on a lot of things that I didn't touch on from Could Have Been Crazy. So basically, here's how I go. Could Have Been Crazy follows a certain time period. After that, Could Have Been Crazier picks it up, and Could Have Been Craziest will be the conclusion. So that's what I'm going for. A lifespan of books about things that happened in the past, things that are happening right now, and things that will happen in the future. My whole life is going to be divided in 3 books. But I'm getting a little distracted here. And I'll ask this question again. Am I way off base? Am I being selfish? Someone tell me I'm wrong in this situation. Because even considering my ego, I don't think I'm wrong in this situation. I think I'm the closest thing to normal sometimes. And normal is boring. And it just feels like I've absorbed all the negative qualities of everyone else in this household. I was able to change, evolve some of those qualities into positive ones, or just get rid of them completely. But there still remains a lot of things that aren't going to make me normal. And that's okay. Because what is normal, right? But I sure as hell know I'm not normal. It's overrated anyway. Alright guys, I'm gonna finally conclude this video. I'm just really sick and tired of this shit. The disrespect. Oh my god, the disrespect. Like, I've actually considered quitting online gambling and just start trophy hunting again. There's no rhyme or reason to. Just because it's cheaper, in some cases more fun to do. It's rewarding. But the problem with online gambling is winning money is very, very rewarding. This was a really good session for me. Since, I mean, I was still doing it casually in my spare time, but it's more, just doing something for fun because I had all this excess money after saving everything, and it was just it wouldn't be unusual to spend $10 or $20 on some gambling website and just, if win or lose, it'd just be something to do. And surprisingly, it can last a lot of time, especially when you're doing low limits, smaller denominations. Maybe I'll just trophy hunt. Maybe I'll just continue that. But obviously, that does cost money, but especially Genshin Impact. But I don't know. I wish there was some unemployment aid or something I could get through this. I didn't even go to the work appreciation day that they had for the clinic. I couldn't go. It was like a picnic kind of thing with the entire company, the entire organization rather, and I couldn't go because I was still testing positive. Now, regardless of whose fault it is who brought this virus into the household, wearing a mask is only going to protect you when you're outside. But when you're in here, there's a reason why all of us got sick. Are you going to sanitize every doorknob, every handle? Are you going to sanitize those on an hourly basis? Whenever someone touches them, are you going to sanitize it? Are you going to do laundry separately? Are you going to, do you get what I'm saying? Are you going to cook food a certain way? How are you going to stop the spread if it's that contagious? And it's contagious because that's why the fuck you're wearing a mask. This ass backwards logic. I don't understand how this can be considered normal logic. Well, I guess physical health is only a priority sometimes for certain people. I guess I don't have that luxury, but it'd be nice to at least have it offered to me, like a lamb of God being offered to. Did I just compare myself to God? Anyway, you heard it first. You heard it first. I'm actually Jesus. No, I'm probably going to hell for that, by the way. All right. I gotta go back to my shut-in life right now. I'm gonna go back to drinking my sorrows away. I really don't drink that much, but I do drink. It's more of a nightcap kind of thing, I notice. Other than that, at the moment, for a long time actually, in the recent past and current present, alcohol is the only drug I take. In terms of, like, you know, I don't smoke cigarettes, I do not partake in marijuana, and any of the other shit out there I don't do. The only thing I do is alcohol. I want to be acknowledged that not necessarily better, but that I am a good son, because I know I am. I know there's a lot of things that I did that I didn't have to do, even being disrespected this entire time. So how does this ass backwards logic work? My ass backwards logic and their ass backward logic? I'm done, man. I'm done with this video. I'm done. I mean, I just throwing some shade in the red room. Alright guys, I gotta end this. Take care of yourselves and each other.